out there, nerds? It's your girl, Queen X Lexi, and I'm sitting here in our lovely living room with.
King X Rome sitting here.
And we are just kind of coming back. I know it's been a really, really long time. You don't have to send any hate mail or anything like that. Um, However, we're on today to kind of explain that and just like touch on a few topics that we found cool over the past couple of weeks, honestly. Um, but we actually got married. I know we kind of like touched on it maybe a couple of episodes before we kind of dropped off the face of the earth. But it was so much fun, but we had to decide between doing a podcast once a week and figuring out wedding stuff once a week. So unfortunately, the podcast kind of took a dive. But we're here and we're back, and we want to do this as much as we can, as often as we can, so we can reach out to our fellow nerds. Um, King X Rome, what do you got for me? How was the wedding?
I've been told by most of our guests that it was the most awesome wedding they've ever been to, and that's exactly what I was aiming for.
Yeah, we had like a party. I feel like we like the funny thing to me is like after the wedding, everyone's like asking us like how's married life, and I'm like I've been with this dude for 8 years. It's pretty much the same.
It's the
Like,
fucking same. Nothing's changed.
like nothing's in a good way, not like in a negative way or anything like that, but like we have always strived to evolve as individuals and together, so it's not like that was gonna change. you know we believe that we will always evolve and grow. So it was that question is just so funny to me all the time. I still get it like at work, like even when guests like see my ring, they're just like, oh, you got married? I'm like, yeah. How's married life? And I'm like,
The
great. The same.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed
It's
at all.
just official in the word of law now.
Right, yeah. Well, oh my God, I don't even want to talk about that. The official way. Oh my Jesus, it took forever
Yeah.
to get the marriage license.
Definitely
Actually
some
official.
ups and downs.
Like we got married in December, guys, and like we got it 4 days ago.
Like 4 days ago. Literally
Like,
just received
It
it.
took so much time. And I mean, some people signed on the wrong line, so there was some corrections that
definitely
needed to be made.
that was the major
But-
setback in the beginning. My best man actually was one of our witnesses, and I don't know if he just was being foolish or a little bit drunk on the night or whatever
totally
excuse, but he accidentally signed his signature on the address line of the wedding certificate. So they denied it because it was incorrectly filled out, and we had to get it corrected.
And it's a whole process. It's an extra $30. If you're thinking about getting married in the state of California, just sign the whole thing before it all starts. Just don't date it. Oh my God. Like, that'll save you so much time.
Yeah.
Like, no one ever told us any of this. We were just kind of winging it. You don't think to Google those things, like how to sign my marriage license at my wedding. I'm sure somebody's thought of it and maybe made a webpage about it, but I'm here to tell you, if you're getting married soon and you're doing the whole official thing, not like eloping or anything, but like just save yourself some time, have everybody sign before, and you can pretend to sign and get pictures of you pretending to sign the wedding license later. Like,
I mean, a good amount of people I talked to told me that they signed it during their rehearsal, which is like the day before, which I guess is probably the best time to do it.
yeah, I think we just didn't, like, we had a late wedding. It was like the ceremony started at 5, so we took pictures to capture the light in the middle of the day. And I don't think we accounted for, everyone being pretty intoxicated by the time the ceremony
because our wedding
went
party
on.
started to drink like immediately.
12 p.m.
Like 12 p.m.
They were definitely...
They were tadful. They weren't getting like plastered, but
not
they
at
wure
all.
definitely drinking as soon as we got on site.
They participated in day drinking and night drinking.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure. And
But
I mean, like, I did too, but it just wasn't, it wasn't as much, I was kind of focused on putting this dress on, taking this dress off, putting these shoes on, let's go take pictures. And, like, me and King X Rome, like, took pictures for, like, an hour and a half.
probably
Away
long,
from everybody.
Probably longer than
Probably
that. It was
longer,
like
yeah.
2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, it took a long time.
Yeah.
And I think we did get 1 hour, though, of, like, just sitting. Because I remember, like, we weren't doing anything. We were just kind of sitting in our thrones. That our friend Daniel made, which were so epic. Like,
yeah, literally we had
wedding?
custom-made thrones. Because if it's not obvious already, we like to dig into this king and queen theme pretty hardcore. And that's exactly what we did for our wedding. Like, I didn't even have on a normal suit. I actually had on, like, the vest, the slacks, but instead of, like, a blazer or a jacket, I had on, like, a ceremonial cape. And same thing with Queen. She had on, like, a really beautiful, elegant cape and a crown, like a headpiece. Absolutely amazing.
It was fun. I think the most oddly uncomfortable moment for me, aside from, like, wearing those shoes, oh my god, I need to take those off immediately, was not doing anything. Like, and it's just like a testament to, like, how great our group was. Like, I didn't really need to lift a finger on our wedding day, and I think that was my end goal without even realizing that was my end goal, because I'm the type of person that, like, always needs to do something. I'm always there to help. I'm always there to rally the troops or whatever I need to do. But, like, that day, like, everything was taken care of. I got to sit there and actually, like, sit there like a queen. Like,
And
it was fun.
attempt to just enjoy the day.
And just enjoy the day. And, there was some hiccups, some things went wrong.
Like
But
the fucking DJ.
Okay. I knew it. But, like, overall, the night was not ruined. It was a wonderful night. Oh my god. Why am I blanking? Our first dance song.
Oh,
That's something I need to not blank on.
It was
You blanked
don't
too?
think twice.
Yes.
The not the theme song, but, like, one of the core songs in Kingdom Hearts. That was our first dance song. And what's even better about it is, so we had a few mishaps before the wedding that kind of dramatically slowed things down for us, both, like, planning wise and, like, honestly just, like, life wise, kind of set us back a bit. I won't go into detail too deeply. It's a little personal there, but definitely set us back a bit. And because of that, we didn't have a lot of time to, like, figure things out. It literally, like, our lives stopped for, like, a good month. And that was right before the wedding. Yeah.
So much longer.
Yeah.
I'm going to get slightly into detail. I just had surgery. It was, like, a major surgery, and I couldn't walk from, like, normal walk from, like, September until
11th.
November.
Yeah. For, like, 2.5 months or something like
and
that.
then
Literally
I couldn't lift
walk
anything until December 1st. So it was like, well, this first dance is scrapped because we planned to dance from September, but obviously that wasn't going to work too
It hit
well.
a point where we were actually kind of nervous that she wouldn't even be able to dance, period, because the surgery happened, like, months before the wedding, and the doctors were talking about it's going to be, like, a 6-week healing cycle to even get out of bed and, like, physically be able-bodied again. But, like, not fully. You're just out of bed now. So we were like, dang, 6 weeks just to stand up again? Like, that we might not even be able to have a first dance. But nonetheless, healing went very, 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 very well. It just was, close to the finish line. So because of that, we ended up rehearsing our first dance, like, 2 days before our wedding. Like, literally 2 nights before our wedding.
For 3 hours.
For, like, 3 hours. We were like, all right, what is our first dance going to be? What are we going to do? Because, like, the thing about me, too, is, like, one of my best friends told me, with your first dance, it's going to come out one of 2 ways. One, you're just going to go on the dance floor and you're going to sway left and right, and it's going to be pretty and magical, and everybody's going to be like, oh, they look so cute. Or two, you're going to get out on the dance floor and you're going to make a fool of yourself, but you're going to have fun doing it, right? And I'm a showman. Everything I do, I have to put on a presentation. I have to put on a show. I have to show off a little bit. So I was like, I'm not going to get out there and just sway back and forth. That's boring. So we came out with like a ballroom dance-esque like choreography for our song. And it was actually like in practice, it was pretty cool. Like it was like, that's dope. Like that's pretty cool. But then the night of, again, we only rehearsed it 2 nights before for like 3 hours. It kind of completely fell apart, and we did exactly what my best friend said, and we were on the dance floor making fools of ourselves. But everybody loved it, and I actually, 2 of my really, really good friends, best friends actually, they told me they're dancers. One of them is actually like a semi-professional-esque dancer, and the other one has just danced for a long time. And me not being a dancer literally at all, they both like came to me after our first dance. It was like, wow, man, like you did good. Like for a guy who doesn't dance like at all, you actually did really good out there. And I was like, well, thank you, because that was 3 hours. Like that's all I have to show for is fucking 3 hours. So yeah, I think it came out great, and we got a lot of laughs, and everybody, the energy was great, and it was fun, exciting, and it was great.
Drama free, just how I like my life. Like it was perfect. Like,
Yeah.
And like you said, everyone really just like had fun. Because we had such a high bar limit or money limit, whatever you want to call it.
Paid bar or whatever.
Yeah, it felt like open bar because we didn't have a lot of guests.
Yeah,
so
we only had
kept
like
going and making trips, and like I learned later, like we didn't even touch our minimum.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, damn, I wish I could have some of that money back.
Yeah,
Pro tip, you can't get it back, so take all the bottles like home. But it just like, I don't know, it was truly a magical night, and I gush over it every time someone brings it up. Like,
yeah.
I wish I could take, we got a cool wedding book out of it and some wall art too, and I wish I could take my wedding book everywhere with me. Like, it's like my new favorite book right now. Like,
Yeah, it's pretty fucking awesome.
it is. It's really cool. And the wall art's really cool, too.
Oh, I forgot to mention that I didn't have, what are they called? Botaniers?
Oh, yeah, we didn't have botaniers.
Yeah, we didn't have botaniers. My side, we actually had swords, like legitimate swords. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. And then, like, even during the pre-ceremony, I got to knight. Unofficially, obviously, because I have no ordained power. I'm not like a lord of the land or anything. But I got to...
You could be.
Yeah, I could be. But I knighted the groom's party, and it was fucking awesome. And we got pictures of that, and that's also in our little picture book. It was pretty fucking awesome.
It was super cool. And, like, my side, I mean, we did candles, and it actually worked out, which it was a last-minute, like, thing. Because at first we were going to do flowers, and then halfway through I was like, but I hate flowers. Why do I want flowers? So then King just like kind of pushed me a little and was like, well, what do you envision yourself actually having, even if it's not realistic? And we thought like dragons. So we were like legitimately 3D printing dragons, but it like wasn't working out, and it was stressing me out. And so my best friend, she came and was like, what about candles? And I was like the tall skinny ones that they like use at church? And she was like, yeah, but not the church kind.
Yeah, sounded like a crazy idea, but
and I was like,
in practice,
I mean,
it worked.
You know, it was to me, I thought like basic because we thought so grand. I was like, well, candles are basic, but like at the end of the day, we didn't really have a choice. So she bought candles like 2 days before and brought them to the wedding, and like the pictures with the candles and the nightlight, it worked perfect. Like I had a black candle, loved it. Everyone else had red ones, and it worked out. And we didn't do like corsages or anything like that. I didn't want any of that on me. Me and him had matching bracelets. It was like a small little nuance. They were like, like those bead bracelets. What do you call those?
like the volcanic rock bracelets.
Yeah, there we go.
The like chakram bracelets.
Yeah.
And like mine had, I think both of ours had like, it was like a bunch of beads, but then one of the beads, instead of it being a bead, it was like a little crown.
Oh yeah, one of them has. Yeah, they each have like a little crown on them.
Yeah. Again, digging really deep into that royal.
If
that
you haven't
royal
realized
theme.
already.
Yeah, it's kind of our whole motif here.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think you started it. I kind of just like followed along when we started to be together. But
so to digress for like 2 seconds, like way, way back in the day. So like my namesake, King X Rome, it like some people might have asked like, so let me just explain. So back in the day when online gaming started to get popular among consoles, so like, I don't know, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era, you had to come out with like a screen name. And originally, I think my name was Mad Rome. I think was like my first like Xbox 360 like gamer tag. And I think I had like lost access to that account. Like I forgot the email, forgot the password, whatever. So then I had to come up with a new name and I just really couldn't think of one. So like, you know how like most of the time when you come up with screen names, whatever you're using to come up with it, it can like give you a couple of recommendations. Well, King X Rome was one of those recommendations and it just kind of stuck with me. Like no real reason, nothing really meaningful behind it. It just kind of stuck with me. I guess if I had to give it a meaning, typically I'm a really cocky, conceited guy, and I usually have like the biggest head in the room. So having the
that's
nickname,
an understatement.
yeah, having the nickname King, kind of just like I was like, yeah, that works. All right, cool, let's go for it. So like that's really all that is. And then Queen being my spouse, obviously her name has to have Queen somewhere in it, and we decided let's go with like the same convention where it's like Queen X and then part of our actual name. If you guys couldn't guess, Rome is part of my name and Lexi is part of her name. So I assume that was straightforward.
It is.
But yeah, so like that's where the idea for the name comes from. Nothing really super meaningful or anything like that, but it just ironically worked with both the podcast and our wedding because royalty. That's what we're going for.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, speaking of our gamer tags, they're actually on our custom shoes that we wore at our
Forgot
reception.
about that.
They are Vegeta and Bulma shoes. He wore Bulma, I wore Vegeta, and our gamer tags are on them. They're like really cool. I know we're like talking it up and describing it. Don't worry, there's gonna be like pictures all over like our official For the Love of Nerds Facebook and stuff. But
yeah,
it's still like really cool to be able to describe. Like it was such a fun time, and like I don't want to go back to planning in any way, but like I often find my happy place in that night.
I could relive that night a couple more times.
Yeah,
that was
absolutely
one of the greatest nights in my life. It was absolutely amazing.
Hands down.
Like, and I kept telling, like, for those of you that have been married, I'm sure you'll agree to this, and for those of you getting married, I'm sure you're going through this. Everybody tells you like 1,000 times, like, hey, you know, things are going to go wrong. Just relax, you know, accept that everything won't go perfect and yada, yada, yada. And like, I get that. And the only thing I was saying is that like, I was kind of getting irritated with hearing that because I get like small things, medium things. All right, big deal. The night goes on. Like I jokingly said earlier that the DJ was a problem because he did fuck up quite a few times throughout the night, but it didn't like ruin the night. It was like everything still went really well. The concerns that I had, and I'm sure the concerns that a lot of people out there getting married have, are like night-ending things, like things that literally destroy the night. And, you know, I've voiced that to a lot of my friends or a lot of people around me, and like their response to that was like, oh, well, you know, it's still your night. Just remember it's your night. And I was like, yeah, you're not getting the point. It is my night, and now my night's ruined. And I'm okay to feel that way if something that big goes wrong. Like we had a nighttime outdoor wedding, and you know, we did it in the middle of December, which was like really risky in a lot of different ways. And I kept saying, like, the one thing that would kind of ruin this night is, and not so much ruin, but like something that would really like upset me is rain. You know, like if it just decided to just pour rain on our wedding, like that would have sucked. We had a backup plan. We could have done the rain in the reception hall. Like the reception hall doubled down as like a backup area. But like we were getting married in an amphitheater. Just like think about that.
Yeah, the ambiance was like perfect out there.
Yeah, like
the lighting, even the water lit up at night.
Yeah, like literally there was like a giant fountain behind us that was like spewing beautiful, like gleaming lit up water, and it was like in front of it was literally an amphitheater. Like I'm not over exaggerating. It was literally an amphitheater. That's where we got married.
Yeah, we
and
came
like,
down into our guests. And
yeah.
It was a perfect view. Like it was amazing.
And that's fucking dope. But then just imagine all of that being set up, and then nature is like, no, fuck you, I'm raining tonight.
Right.
You got to go get married in just like a normal ass hall room.
Yeah.
Like, you know, for some people that might have been cool. Don't get me wrong. For those of you that are getting married just in a normal like hall, that if that works for you, that works for you. But like that would have been one of the things that kind of upset me that night if it would have happened. And all I was asking for is for people to understand that that would have been upsetting. But everybody just kept being like, no, no, no. Basically telling me like, you can't feel mad. Just be happy because it's your night. And I'm like, nah, man, that's not how this works. If I'm mad, I'm mad.
I was kind of getting some of the same, but like I had one person actually, one person that I worked with that was like, hey, if things go wrong that are in your control, fix it.
Well, yeah, fix it.
But at the end of the day, if something like that you can't control, try not to stress about it and move on to plan B. It's going to suck and you're going to be sad about it, but try to bring yourself back to the night because you don't want your entire wedding day to be, well, it rained. And to me, that helped because that was like legitimate advice. And I was like, oh, you're right. And she was also right because I thought I was gonna be like Bridezilla on the day. Like I thought I was gonna be
good.
All over it. But
Nobody thought you were Bridezilla.
I was pretty calm. Like, you know, I mean, some of our wedding party that have never actually seen me in my work life because I'm a manager. They thought like part of that was Bridezilla for a bit, and I'm like, no, I'm just managing. We are a group of people that I feel the need to be in charge of sometimes, so I was managing, but not Bridezilla. Those are two different things. Like, I don't think that I actually ever got to Bridezilla, or at least that's what most of our wedding party was telling me, that I didn't really get to Bridezilla. And that makes me happy because I don't think Bridezilla is fun. Like, and I feel for Bridezillas sometimes because it makes me think that like they don't have the support, so that's what pushes them there. Others are not that.
In some cases, yeah, sure. But, I mean, like, the real idea of Bridezilla is, like, making everything a monstrous problem when it isn't. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, like, I would say the closest you got to that was when we were having our discussion about everybody's fingernails. And you were like, you want their fingernails, like, buff and cut and trimmed and styled. And I was like, like, I get that for the women, but, like, ain't nobody gonna be looking at the guy's fingernails. Like, come on now. But like you still weren't Bridezilla about it. You were just like, this is something I want. But like imagine that, but like I don't know, over like the color of forks or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, but it's like, and again, you know, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Live your life the way you want to live it. But like, just know that's a little Bridezilla-y. You know, I mean, there was literally a show in like the early 2000s that was all about this. Just fucking women just going over the rails, you know? But, I mean, to be honest, I think the day of, I think I hit that a little bit more than you did, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was a little bit more nitpicky.
Bridezilla.
Yeah, I was a little bit more nitpicky over things, and, like, I was, like, you know, keeping the pot from boiling over, and my part, like, when the DJ messed up the song initially, I was, like, ready to just, like, go down there and just, like, you're fired, dude, leave. Just leave.
But then we wouldn't have a teacher.
Like, yeah, because, like, so, like, for clarity on that, basically, we had 3 songs, more or less, for the bridal party to walk down. Well, 2 songs and like a sound effect.
They were dope though.
Yeah, so the first song was, again, it's more of a sound effect. It's like, if any of you guys are Monty Python fans, we love the movie The Holy Grail, and one of the running gags of that movie is that nobody rode horses. To my understanding, it's because like the budget constraints didn't allow it.
Yeah.
So instead, they had like the prop guys follow the main characters
With
and
coconuts.
clap coconuts together, because the coconuts kind of simulated the sound of galloping horses. So the idea was our what is he called? The ordained person? Because he wasn't a pastor or minister, but like the person we had, the officiant. There we go. The officiant.
He was a minister, but yeah.
The officiant was gonna walk down to the sound of like the clapping horses, and he was gonna do like a subtle gallopy motion, kind of like they did in Monty Python. And I don't know if he maybe walked down too early or if like the DJ just didn't see him, but the DJ didn't play the noise at all. And then when it came time for the official bridal part or the wedding party to walk down, so like my mom and dad walked down the aisle first. We did things kind of weird. My mom and dad walked down the aisle first. He played the galloping sound to my mom and dad, and it was like, no, that's wrong. Now it's time to play the regular song. So then after my mom and dad goes down, then he starts the regular song. But then get this, like 10 seconds into the regular song, his phone starts ringing. And I don't know if he had like the speakers hooked up to his phone or something.
Yeah,
but
he had Bluetooth speakers.
Yeah, so like his phone started ringing over the speakers, you know? It's, you know, like whenever you connect your phone to like a Bluetooth speaker and you get like a text message, it like stops the music and then plays the text message noise and then goes back to the music. That's literally what happened during our ceremony. His phone starts ringing. So then he, you know, he was pretty quick about it and like fixing it, goes back to the song. And then I guess he forgot what our song was. Cause again, we did things kind of differently. Me and Queen walked down the aisle together. So like instead of me, you know, already being at the altar and like her walking down, we decided to walk down the aisle together. And we had a special song that was specifically just for us. And like, I don't know if the DJ forgot what song that was, but like when it was time for us to walk down the aisle, it was just silence for like 30 seconds. Like he just didn't play anything. And our like event coordinator had to like basically like mad dog him for like 10 seconds to like let him know like, the fuck are you doing?
Are you gonna play?
Are you gonna play the next song? Like what the fuck's going on here? And then he finally got with the program and put the song on, and then, you know, we went down and, you know, everything was good. And like those are small problems. Like I was upset because I was like, fuck dude, that just like kind of fucked up the moment. But like it didn't ruin the night. I was just a little
walked
upset.
down to our song.
Yeah, ultimately everything went okay. My mom, I guess, didn't even notice the song she walked down to because my mom is the really anal person. Like she usually makes a deal out of everything. So I was wholeheartedly like expecting her to come to me and be like, what the fuck was I like? What was that noise? Why did everybody else get like a cool sound or a cool song? And I got this weird ass clappity noise. Like, what was that? But she didn't. So it worked out.
Yeah, she didn't even think about it.
Yeah. And like, you know, that's only like half of the DJ's fuck ups. He actually had quite a few more throughout the rest of the night. But
oh yeah, he played the songs in opposite order.
So like he didn't even actually play any of our songs. Like,
our
our special
playlist,
songs that we had for specific moments, he played. But, like, throughout the night, like, our playlist that we were like, these are the songs, you know, that we want for the dance floor.
Yeah.
That he didn't play none of those. Like, he played, like, generic party people music. You know what I mean? Which, again, that's fine. It was still a wonderful night, and everything was great. Those songs got the people dancing. And, like, don't get me wrong. I'll admit, the songs we picked, most people would have probably just be sitting at the table because we listened to like hardcore EDM. So like it would have been like a lot of EDM music just playing like hardcore, and a lot of our social group and family like isn't really into that. So like granted, he probably made the right call, but it was like at the same time, it's like you're not even listening to the people who are paying you. Although technically it was a favor, so we didn't pay him, which is probably why he didn't try that hard, because we didn't have to pay. It was like a pro bono type of thing. But, like, still, like, you know, this is your business. This is what you do for a living. You should do your job right, you know, regardless of if it's pro bono or not. Like, you should do your job right. And then like he had the schedule in the itinerary, and we weren't doing the father
Daughter dance.
the like father daughter dances. We decided to skip those, and he should have known that because he had the schedule, like he had the itinerary, but he still decided to like stop everything and call out the special moment for the father daughter dance and all this and all that. And I was like, bro, what's going on here? What's going on? What are you doing, man? What's going on? But we're not here to talk about the bad stuff. It was a great night. All right, I'm done talking about the bad stuff. All right, we'll get back to the fun parts.
Moving on.
Moving on. All right, moving on.
But no, it really was. It was honestly, it was a really great night, and it was special. And we're probably going to be talking about it for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll reference it in quite a few more podcasts.
Yeah, for sure. Because it was such a big highlight. Like it was a milestone without being a milestone, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. It was great. I loved every moment of it, honestly. Even though we didn't hear some of our songs, it was still
wonderful.
It was still a perfect night.
And I couldn't ask for a more wonderful wife. I'm the luckiest man ever. I love this woman sitting across the living room from me.
Our living room that we need to clean.
Yeah, it's a little messy right now.
Messy right now.
Good thing this is audio only.
Yeah, visual. Oh God.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't even have the right stuff right now to be doing all that, but still. Oh gosh. You're sweet. I love you too, baby. Well, honestly, that was like what took up all our time and why we hadn't done this for so long. Why we didn't have anything to really talk about, why we didn't have any other topics. I felt like we needed to kind of just explain a little as to our absence, which was a fair one, especially, getting married takes some time.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we took the time off because then we were able to really like focus on the wedding. I was just kind of like scrolling a little bit. I found something very surprising. Did you know John Travolta's 70 years old?
Yes.
An hour ago. I did not know that. I didn't think he was 70. I mean, I knew he was up there.
Yeah, he's an old man.
Yeah. And Dre's like 59. I was like, whoa, what's happening? I mean, these guys aren't our generation, but I really didn't think that like they were that old. I don't know. They look great.
With everything previously said, we might go back a little bit and cover some of the topics that we missed, like over the next couple of podcasts. Like we missed the video game awards, we missed the anime awards.
Oh man,
we missed the launch of Starfield. We missed the launch of a lot of games. A lot of movies came out that we wanted to talk about. So like we might go back.
See.
Yeah, we saw most of them. We bought basically every game. We watched every event.
Yeah.
We just didn't have the time to like sit down and like, talk about it. So depending on how like the timeline goes, we might decide to go back and talk about some of these things because I definitely got some feelings on some of these topics.
Oh yeah, he got lots of feelings.
Yeah. So like I said, we might go back. Like I definitely feel like Starfield got snubbed at the Game Awards. I feel like Bethesda as a whole got snubbed at the Game Awards.
Hey, there's something going on with that, and we will definitely
and we'll definitely dissect that. Like I said, we might go back and talk about a few things. It just kind of depends on the timeline because then we don't want to get too far back. I mean, not that we really care about having like a schedule. We're not like, I guess you could say, other podcasters or other content creators where they try to always talk about the most relevant thing as soon as it happens and blah 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 blah. We talk about whatever the fuck we feel like it whenever the fuck we feel like it, but obviously you don't want to talk about something that like is old news. So it depends on the timeline of everything and how it all works out. Maybe we'll go back and touch on some of these topics.
Yeah, I mean, not to like feed into the hype, but that Deadpool 3 trailer was very exciting. I already requested off work. Like I'm not going to work.
Looks absolutely amazing.
Like, honestly, that was like one of our like early stages of dates. Like we've always seen Deadpool. Like,
yeah.
So it feels right. It's date night. on the, what is it, the 26th of July, I think?
I don't remember the
pretty
exact
sure.
date.
I'm pretty sure it's the 26th of July.
I'm super excited. Deadpool's one of my favorite characters, like, period, of all time ever. And, like, that's even before the movies came out. And when I say favorite character, I don't mean, like, MCU character. I mean, like, he's literally my legitimate favorite hero / anti-hero, like, period. And it's been that way since fucking issue 1 of Deadpool. Like, yeah. So I'm excited. He's now 100% officially part of the MCU. Like, oh man, I'm fucking pumped for that.
It's so funny how our favorite characters are like complete opposite. You've got like Deadpool for you, who's super like gray. He can be very just,
Multiverse
but, like,
Jesus.
but he can be like also like, I really don't give a fuck about what you're about to say. I'm gonna do what I want to do. And then you get my favorite character, who's Captain America, and just like, you know, he could do this all day. Like, I don't know. Like,
Well, sadly,
I know. I don't want to
it's
talk about
Falcon
it. I don't
now.
want to. I don't want to talk about it. I'm not there yet.
Captain Falcon.
I mean, I love all aspects of Cap, and I mean, we're getting into a good version of Cap, but it's not fully Cap, and I don't know what Disney's doing. It kind of seems like it's gonna be like a buddy cop situation. Like, we've got both Bucky and,
well, that was just for the TV show, and
I know,
like, they might continue to team up in more movies and stuff, but that was mostly just the TV show. And honestly, that TV show, it felt like the only real purpose of it was to properly indoctrinate Falcon into being Cap and to give us like his feelings on taking on the mantle, which works because I mean that's largely what it was in the comics when he took it over. Like, there was a whole stint of him like accepting the role, because I mean, just like the characters who take on the mantle of Spider-Man or the characters who take on the role of Captain America, those are big shoes to fill. You're not a small character.
They
you know,
are.
those who took on the role of Superman when Superman died, like,
actually died.
Yeah, like that. Those are really big shoes to fill. So
I just don't want them to, like, you know, make it seem like Cap's shoes were so big that they both need to fill it, because that's not. To me,
I mean, they're both
that's not right.
Perfectly accurate heroes.
Yeah.
I love Winter Soldier.
Standalone for sure.
Yeah, I love Winter Soldier. I'm an okay Falcon fan. He's all right. I've never been big on Falcon.
I mean, I love Anthony Mackie for Falcon, honestly.
Yeah, he fits the role perfectly.
He's perfect.
He's goofy and quirky and hilarious. Oh, speaking of Anthony Mackie, that's also another thing we might talk about. I recently watched Twisted Metal, which, for those of you that have Peacock or don't have Peacock, I would definitely say if you're a Twisted Metal fan, it's worth a watch. It was good. It was fun. Without going too deep into detail, definitely it seems like they were more so anticipating having multiple seasons to get more deep into the actual like world of Twisted Metal, because in the first season there isn't a lot of excuse me. Ooh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. There isn't a lot of like Twisted Metal, right? It is like a pseudo buddy cop story of like a cross country trip, kind of, you know. That's kind of like a soft explanation of like what the story does. And there's like touches of like, you know, it brings up some of the iconic characters. It rewrites some of the more iconic characters. Like Preacher is not the same character that he was in the games. He's completely different. Like mannerisms. I think they like touch his backstory a little bit of, I think the like Twisted Metal Black backstory. They give him like a touch of that, but it's only in backstory, and namesake is where it's there. The actual character's like mannerisms and the way he is completely different. Same thing I think with Dollface, I think was the IndyCar driver, I think. Same thing with her, like her backstory is kind of there, but the character's like mannerisms and stuff is kind of completely rewritten and like different. But like a lot of the iconic characters are there. And Anthony Mackie, for like lack of a better way of putting it, Anthony Mackie feels like he fills the role of like the gamer, if that makes sense. Like he's not a gamer, that's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying like when you're playing Twisted Metal, obviously you play as one of the characters, but like from your perspective of the world, it's kind of like a third person perspective, right?
Yeah, I get
and like
you.
that's kind of where Anthony Mackie's character is. It's like he's you experiencing this world, if that makes sense. But it feels like they definitely planned on having a second season to like actually do the like Twisted Metal tournament and like have the actual crazy cars blowing each other, because there isn't a lot of that in the first season. It was good, there just isn't a lot of that. So but it was good. Like I really fucking enjoyed it. I was really happy when they announced that it is getting a season 2. I'm pumped. Can't wait. But yeah, that's something we might actually break down like episodically and talk about a little bit. Oh, The Last of Us. We definitely got to touch on that.
Oh yeah, I don't care how old that gets.
That was at fucking phenomenal. Like, oh, the show was so good. So we might touch on that.
Plus
too.
they're lining up a season 2 for sure.
Yeah. Definitely there's Avatar The Last Airbender, which comes out like the end of this week. So we might talk about that. One Piece had its live action. We might have to go back and talk about that because I really enjoyed that too.
We're gonna touch on a lot of things.
Yeah, we'll try.
We
Stuff might slip through the cracks, but we'll try.
Yeah, but we'll try. I think that the last and final thing that I kind of want to touch on that we've been doing that started for us like 2 days ago now is that me and King and a few of our friends are gaming for 30 hours each of us to stop soldier suicide. And it's like a Facebook exclusive, but like, you know, they're their own organization outside of Facebook. And it's definitely to bring awareness to this problem of, you know, people in the military committing suicide. It's a very heavy, dark, deep topic, and I want to just help them out. And it also gives, you know, veterans and anybody, honestly, that has been or is military resources to mental health access, because, you know, waiting on the VA is the government, and waiting on the government, like they always say, and every military platform I've ever gone to, because I almost went into the military once, is hurry up and wait. And, you know, they teach you that, and, you know, it's just supposed to be accepting, but I don't think that your mental health is a hurry up and wait kind of option. So that's where I think that phrase is kind of, to me, frowned upon. And we've just been gaming, honestly. What'd we do, like 8 hours yesterday?
Yeah.
And that was I mean, that's kind of our normal, but we normally play all day.
I mean, that's where this situation works out, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's like if we're doing it
game
anyway.
either way. Like, we put that much time into gaming either way, so it's like, well, now we can put it towards a good cause, right?
Yeah.
Collect donations for the cause, help the mental stability of these soldiers, and have fun while doing it, you know? So like we're posting a few videos and screenshots and stuff here and there of just some of our games that we're playing. But yeah, like I said, we game that much anyway. Like we easily put in 8 to 10 hours a day, you know, aside from work weeks, because we both are working Americans. We attempt to be responsible adults.
Full-time jobs.
Yeah. But yeah, like we game that much anyway, so it's like, why not put it towards a good cause?
Right. I mean, now you're like closer to home. Hell, you've had a job change since we last talked, so
yeah. Oh, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Like I got fed up with my last job because it was just killing me mentally, and I was coming home dead every day. So for my own mental stability, I decided I gotta quit that job and find something better. And now I'm significantly closer to home. Like I'm close enough to home that I come home for lunch. Like I drive to work, drive home for lunch, drive back to work, and then drive home when I'm off, and that's still less gas than one trip just to my old job. So
Yeah.
it's
infinite money saver for
yeah.
sure.
So it's absolutely wonderful. My new coworkers are wonderful. My boss is like one of the most accommodating, awesome bosses I've virtually ever worked for. Yeah. So like that's a whole thing in of itself. That was great. Or is great, not was. It is great.
Yeah, and I'm I'm glad you have that, because like it makes this challenge a little bit easier too, because like you can come home and game me whether I'm here or not, and
Yeah.
it just helps out for sure. But we have a Facebook fundraiser. I'll post it on the For the Love of Nerds Facebook and Instagram, just in case you want to watch or donate, or just simply spread the word. Any and all of it helps for sure. And with that, I think we're gonna wrap up this episode and see you guys next time.
Yep. See you next week or whenever we
Whenever.
have time to make another episode.
We're definitely trying for like a once a week kind of thing, but we just don't know what day.
Yeah.
Whatever day works for us, really.
Yeah. Don't look forward to an exact schedule.
Yeah.
You'll get it when you get it.
That's our daily lives, though. Like,
Yeah.
Everything varies. But yeah, with that, peace and love. See you guys next time, nerds.
Bye.